What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video we are going to be discussing the Smash DLC that's going to be coming up very soon, and we're going to do some predictions of when we're actually going to see this and what type of characters we're probably going to see. So first up, I want to say the Smash DLC is probably coming to a close for good, and we're probably not going to get any more DLC characters after this, or at least any more fighters passes. I think it's possible that we can get like an extra character or two through like a special thing where Sakurai includes just like one or two characters. And I think that would really be it, and it wouldn't be anything like super big like a Fighters Pass 3. Now, something really big worth talking about is E3. E3 is coming up very soon this June, and Nintendo is having a direct there like usual, and Smash is more than likely going to be at this Nintendo Direct to announce the final fighters, because it's about time that we're due for another fighter. Now, a lot of people think the final two fighters are going to be announced here. I actually don't think that's going to happen. I think it'd be kind of a bummer if we just got both at the same time, and I feel like the last one should have like a bigger thing centered around it solely, especially if it's like a really big character. I think it'd be really cool, but it doesn't really have to be a really big character, because Byleth was the last fighter in the last Fighters Pass, and a lot of people weren't happy with that, and it was treated, you know, like with suspense, I guess, of who the final character is going to be. So, I guess that part doesn't really matter that much. But overall, we're more than likely to see at least one character show up in this Nintendo Direct for E3, and I'm quite excited on who they're gonna be. And I have a few guesses of who they actually might be, and I might take in some popular opinions of who people want, because I feel like that stuff does matter now, because, you know, popular opinion and, you know, characters getting requested has worked in the past, so maybe it can work now for this Fighters Pass. So number one, the first character I'm predicting is Eggman. Eggman seems to be really popular right now for a choice for the next fighter, and I'm not exactly sure why Eggman's getting picked, but I guess people just want to see more villains, and Nintendo should add more villains, because even after Sephiroth, there still isn't enough villains added to Smash, and I'd like to see more villains. And Sonic doesn't have anyone else in the game with him from his franchise. The only characters remotely close that he has is Persona, or Joker from Persona 5 and Bayonetta, because they're Sega characters technically. And Mario has Bowser, so Sonic needs Eggman, another villain to fight up against. And I could see Eggman being an interesting character, yet I'm not gonna lie, I am the one person that probably doesn't want to see a character that's like a heavy character as DLC, but that's probably what Eggman would be. He'd probably be in some machine and be considered a heavy character like Bowser Jr. And man, I hate Bowser Jr. But on the bright side, I'd probably tolerate it more because it's Eggman. The next character is, of course, Crash Bandicoot. We've talked about Crash so many times, but I feel like now Crash really deserves it after what's happening with his games, because Crash 4 just came out, and it was a huge success, and people really liked it, and they did a really good job on the game as well. And so now Toys for Bob, which is the developer for the Crash games, at least now, they got moved to work on Call of Duty, and most of the people that worked on Crash 4 got let go from the company. So Toys for Bob is basically another Call of Duty company now. So Crash is pretty much dead, and yeah, so Crash needs something, because he just came back and had a successful game, and now all of a sudden Crashes, and Spyro as well actually, are pretty much dead. So I feel like Crash deserves a spot in Smash. He needs to continue to support and to love. And if people really enjoy seeing Crash, maybe Activision will change their mind and will be like, huh, we can make more money off of Crash instead of, you know, just putting all of our eggs in Call of Duty. Now, I still think it'd be cool to see Crash in Smash, but I still make fun of the character being in Smash. I always make the joke, what's he gonna do, spin? But despite that, I think Sakurai can make it work, because he's so creative and his team is so creative. They can just turn anything into a moveset, like Piranha Plant. They gave Piranha Plant a moveset that works. And Crash does have a decent amount of tools. He has a slide, he has a spin, and he has a ground pound, and he could have his jetpack as his up B and all this type of stuff. So maybe I'm sleeping on Crash a little bit, and he definitely could have like a box mechanic with a nitro and the TNT. Now, this prediction might be a wild one and out of left field, but this would be the craziest Smash character of all time, I think. And it would be if they put Ratchet and Clank into Smash. Now, I know they're a Sony character and they're owned by Sony, but that would be one of the biggest crossovers for Smash. A Sony exclusive character coming over to Nintendo would be huge. It would be absolutely huge and crazy. And I think that would probably break the internet as well, that Ratchet and Clank has joined Smash. And the timing is kind of right, because Ratchet and Clank comes out on June 11th, which is I think around the same time as E3, and that would break everything. And it would be a really big move by Sony to include Ratchet & Clank into Smash, because that's even more advertisement for their game, which is already going to sell insanely well because it's one of the best looking games of all time, let's be honest. Now, some could argue that they're two very different markets, that, you know, you're advertising Sony products to Nintendo fans, and there are no Sony products on Nintendo for Nintendo fans to buy. But I guess that is one way of looking at it. I think another way of looking at it could be to get Nintendo fans interested in buying a Sony console, such as the PlayStation 5. And I think that also is a valid reason to put a character like that into Smash Bros. It's kind of an everyone makes money situation. A lot of people, maybe even some Sony fans, they'd be like, hey, I kind of want to switch. I want to play as Ratchet & Clank in a fighting game that isn't PlayStation All-Stars, because that game's dead. And Nintendo fans have to buy Ratchet & Clank in Smash, which Sony, I'm sure, gets a cut of the money because it's their IP, so then everyone's making money off of Ratchet & Clank. Yeah, it's a wild prediction that's probably never going to happen, but I want to talk about it anyways because I think it is a really interesting thing that could happen, and I think if it did happen, it would be wild. And if I just predicted something crazy, this video is legendary then. And that's exactly why you should hit the subscribe button, because if you're new here and you want to see if I get my predictions right, you'll always be able to find me easily by seeing me in the upload. So hit that subscribe button. But moving on to my final character prediction, it is kind of a personal one still. I'm still holding out for Sora to join Smash, and I have to just tell people every single time, don't doubt Sora. He can still come, and it would be under Disney still and not Square Enix, so he would still be considered a Disney character. Square Enix makes Kingdom Hearts, even though Tetsuya Nomura is a big part of Kingdom Hearts because it's his series, so he just uses Disney, so that's why Disney still owns it. And another thing is, I have to say it again, Disney is not a wall for Nintendo. Disney and Nintendo have been working together a lot over the years, especially during the Wii U days. They were close with, you know, advertisements, and Nintendo had so many advertisements on Disney, and they work really well together. And also, Disney does not care about video games, at least doing it themselves. They will let everyone else handle it but themselves, which is why they gave Star Wars to EA, because EA makes games, and Disney was like, hey, EA is a big company, so we'll give it to them because we don't mess around with games, and they don't. Disney even just allowed something called Lucasfilm Games to become a thing, which is a game studio that's going to be working on Star Wars games, and that's going to be their new branding, and realize how it has nothing to do with Disney, and they had to create their own division that is separate from Disney to just let them do their own thing, because Disney does not worry about games. So I don't think they'd have any problem with lending Sora to a company that is well known, and it is a, you know, very successful company like Nintendo that they've worked with in the past. It's not that hard to, you know, get over Disney with Nintendo, in my own opinion. And I don't think the amount of characters from a company really matters all that much. I think it'd be a different story if we had gotten, like, I don't know, 5 Sonic characters or something that take up the Fighters Pass. I think that would be a different story because that's from one franchise. I think the franchise amount matters way more than how many characters from a single company. And even then, we got 2 Final Fantasy VII characters, even though one was in the previous game, but we just got another one in, you know, this Fighters Pass. But those are my predictions. Again, I don't think we're gonna see 2 fighters at once during E3, but I will take it anyways if it happens. But those are all my predictions, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.